We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Miami Beach unveils a new Rainbow Pride Walkway near Loomis Park, replacing the removed crosswalk and reaffirming LGBTQ visibility, resilience, and community pride ahead of the city's annual Pride Parade.
Misinformation falsely claimed Canada expanded the LGBTQ acronym. MP Leah Gazan used an inclusive term while addressing Indigenous violence, but online reactions twisted its meaning, sparking widespread confusion and backlash.
Pete Buttigieg hints at a 2028 presidential run during a public exchange with Reverend Al Sharpton, energizing supporters, though no official announcement has been made by his team.
Trump faces backlash after posting a graphic murder video pushing his anti-immigration rhetoric.
Melania Trump's rare White House statement denying Epstein ties raises new scrutiny over Trump-era elite networks and power dynamics affecting women within influential social systems. All this important LGBTQ plus news and a whole lot more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 12 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ plus brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our rainbow family. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
That's right, John. It is Monday, April 13th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community. We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
This year, our magazine celebrates its 41st year of the LGBTQ plus experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 14,000 LGBTQ plus television stories told. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ plus events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television, news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ plus and broader communities.
This year, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table anchor Edward Otto Zielke, an accomplished brand influencer and marketing leader with a dynamic background in financial services and travel marketing. Edward currently serves as the Director of Marketing and Sponsorship for the world-famous Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. He also serves on the Gala Chorus's Communications Committee. Welcome back to the show, Edward.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back. I was up in our home state of New Jersey for a couple weeks.
The armpit of the United States.
Yeah, it felt very like, going into like, my old world, and it felt very deja vu, but I'm just so happy to be back in the sun and all of the warm weather. The weather was like this. It was like a roller coaster. It was cold one day. It was kind of warm the next. I thought I was going to get sick, but no, everything is great.
There's something wonderful about going back to your hometown, right? Because you get to live a little in the past, but also miss and appreciate what you have.
Yeah, and the best part, you get to leave it.
And that too. But, I got to see longtime friends, like, my high school friends that I haven't seen, and we've been friends now for like 40-something years now at this point. So it's always nice to go home and just, get acclimated again and just see, like, what everybody's up to, and of course saw family and everything.
Of course, and you also want to see, like, oh, they age bad.
I know, right?
Right?
And that was the best compliment I think I got across the board. Everybody said I look good. And I'm going to take it because you know what? I'm 56, and if I look good at 56, I'm running with it.
Well, you look damn good. Because honestly, folks, you should follow Edward on all social media outlets, all right? There were a couple videos over the weekend where there was some chest action, and I was there for it, okay? I was questioning my sexuality, and I'm like, this is my friend. This is weird.
I had some time off, so we relaxed by the pool, Andrew and I, and so we got a few clips on TikTok. So
Follow him.
You can follow me on It's Edward Oz on all of the channels.
Well, thank you, Edward, for being back at the table at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table my family. He's Dale STine, baby. He's a celebrated photographer in the LGBTQ plus community. He is the director of music ministry at the famous Unity on the Bay and a moderator of Miami Gay List on Facebook and Queer List Official on Instagram. Welcome back to the show, Dale. So I saw you yesterday at Miami Beach Pride. Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. I think it was a great year. And the weather held up.
Yes.
I mean, because it was really iffy, the forecast, but we know what a forecast means.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. And I think the turnout was great, and it was great to connect with people. And it's always great. It's like a reunion,
Right. It's a reunion, but you also feel so safe because everywhere you look and everywhere you see are like-minded folks. You know what I mean? And that feels good. You were also at Friday's event. Drag me back to you. Sorry, he wasn't at it. He was photographer. He was doing his photography. Okay. But you were photographer. You were taking pictures of these incredible drag artists. Who was there?
And this is also a brand new, reimagined event because in the past few years, of all the years of Pride, Friday night was the VIP party, but they changed it altogether. So it's Drag Me to Pride. And yes, there were 5 queens, well-known queens from RuPaul's Drag Race: Trinity the Tuck, Ginger Minge. Help me out.
Can You Please Her?
Can You Please Her? Lana Geray, and who am I missing?
You're missing one.
Yeah, no.
They're going to get mad about
that.
They're
going to get really mad about it.
Trixie Mattel.
No. Jimbo.
Oh, Jimbo!
And Jimbo was the first one I photographed because backstage they were like they were like playing around or whatever, and he always has the big
big boobs. Yes.
Yeah. They were all everybody was super, super, super sweet. It was fun.
I met Jimbo on Thursday for the VIP media day.
I wanted to go to that.
And they were amazing. They were super fun. And I'm like, do you have bologna in your pocket? Because if you know Jimbo, right? Like, they throw bologna at the audience.
Yep.
I mean, and straight up. And like when I saw him on his tour at the Broward Center or something like that with the rest of the queens, I think it was for the holidays. I'm like, he's not going to throw bologna at people. That is just for TV. No. Bologna was thrown.
You haven't lived till you've been smacked in the face with a bologna.
There's something about that weird bologna, but I mean, talented folks that you were able to be with over the weekend. So.
And they all did a great job.
Well, we all look forward to seeing those pictures. And thank you, Dale, for being back at the table at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table my boo, John Hayden. A journalist for 31 years, he now focuses on hyper-local reporting, covering LGBTQ plus issues, Wilton Manors, Lauderdale by the Sea, Fort Lauderdale, and Oakland Park. You can see all his reports at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook, as well as in the New Pelican, Outclick, Out South Florida, and once again, right here at the table where he belongs at Queer News Tonight. Welcome back to the show, John. So what are you covering, or you weren't with me at Pride this weekend where you usually are. You were covering other stuff, but what's a standout of something that you did over this past weekend?
Okay, there is a new club that just opened up in Wilton Manors. It's called Next Bar and Lounge. It is in the Alibi Plaza, a couple doors down from Hunter's, and it's very cool. It's throwing off some fun, sexy vibe. The bartenders and servers cannot be bothered to wear sleeves, so you save extra time that way. They're wearing these awesome derby hats. It kind of gives me New York City vibes, like Hell's Kitchen, a little bit like this kind of hole in the wall, with not a lot of fanfare outside, but inside it's very cool. The booths kind of feel like those old Vegas showrooms, where they had the real high and the shell back type things.
Yes.
It's just a really fun vibe. Alice was their opening performer.
Gatsby.
Yeah.
I always say her last name wrong.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
amazing.
She's really good.
Yeah, that's why I didn't try to say her last name. Yeah, but she's great.
Javier Montero in the...
So the owners of this new are the old owners of Myth.
Myth, that's
Javier, which was a great place, and they had yummy food, and we were sad when they closed down, but we understood how the world is.
Yeah.
This space is smaller. I asked you if they were going to have some food, and you said that they had like apps and stuff.
Yeah, they've
available?
got like shrimp cocktail, a charcuterie plate, a hot lava, chocolate cake, and all the food is between $10 and $20.
Okay.
So not terrible for little bites. You're going to pay the same thing anywhere else. And some of the drinks come in ceramic, like banana or wildlife zoo type things, and all their signature drinks are about $16, so not super pricey in comparison to everything else. So I look forward to going back and being able to spend a lot of time there, and by a lot of time I mean
money,
Ubering home.
Did you speak to Javier? Were you able to speak to the boys? Like, how are they feeling over there? Are they open now, full-fledged?
They are open, although this was the soft opening, that particular night. It was the first night. I didn't really get a chance to talk with anybody in depth because they were busy. It seats about 60, and by 7 o'clock, it was about full. It was going to be standing room only by 7:30, 7:45. So they're off to a good start, and I really do look forward to getting in there and checking out the vibes.
I love that.
Yeah, and you can see it, all the video at Greater Wilton Manors, YouTube and the Facebooks.
Thank you so much, John, for covering that. And make sure that you head on over to Next, okay? Because it's the next place to be. So you got to be there and post your pictures, all right? Thank you, John, for being at the table. And let's get started with Queer News Tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, OUTshine Spring Festival kicks off in Miami from April 23rd. Tell us what's happening out.
It's finally back. Yes, the OUTshine Film Festival returns this spring, this month, launching on Thursday, April 23rd, with an opening night under the stars at the Miami Beach Botanical Garden, which is beautiful. Guests will enjoy cocktails, light bites, and a special screening of The Dinner, starring acclaimed Spanish queer actor Asier Extandia. The OUTshine Spring Edition runs through April 30th in Miami and continues from April 27th through May 3rd in Fort Lauderdale and concludes virtually from May 4th through May 10th via OUTshine at Home. Celebrating LGBTQ plus storytelling through film, the festival promises a vibrant mix of cinema and community. For more details, visit OUTshineFilm.com. This is something that everybody at this table looks forward to every year. I mean, because there's always a story that you needed to be told, that you wanted to see on the big screen. There are the shorts, there are the funnies, there are boy stuff, girl stuff, there are trans stuff. There's really something for everyone, and it's a good time. I mean, how the world is, we love that this representation is out there and that OUTshine continues to do what they said from day one that they would do. Keep it inclusive, make sure that everybody felt at home, you know, and there's something about seeing a movie in the theater. We've gotten so used to streaming everything that we watch and watching it in our big screen TV at home. It's not the same until someone, checks their phone and the light messes you up. You know what I mean?
I agree, because, we've been going to the movies more often because, the streaming at home sometimes gets really old hat. So it's fun just to get out, but also this is such a great representation of our community, getting out and hearing these stories. I look forward to this time every year because we get to see the new stuff, things that I don't get to see up in New York and some of the other, niches that we see a lot of where the movies are coming from. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is a great week.
It's also a great how, as you say, community, but also how the festival has grown over the years. I'm old enough, period. But that part. But in 2001, 2002, actually maybe 3 and 4, I was the official photographer for Miami Gay and Lesbian Film Festival, which is what then it has now the OUTshine Film Festival. So to watch how it's grown and expanded, and because then it was only Miami, of course, then it expanded to Fort Lauderdale, and now I love that they're doing the Twin Cities kind of vibe,
Yes.
It's really smart, so it's just a great thing to kind of see it, how it's evolved and continuing to evolve.
And Marky G's still there, still a pillar, still kicking out.
She's still there.
Still shady as hell, but still making all this happen like only he can. Him, Joe, the whole entire crew over there are amazing.
I started with that Carol Coombs of Miami Beach Pride. Now that's how she and I met. She was part of the original of the Miami Gay Lesbian Film Festival.
Oh, I mean, it's the only time that John goes past Broward Boulevard. Is that true?
That's pretty true. That's pretty accurate, yeah.
Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the OUTshine Spring Festival from April 23rd.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Miami Beach unveils new Pride Walkway after state removes iconic rainbow crosswalk in South Beach. Miami Beach has unveiled a new Pride Walkway. 6 months after the Florida Department of Transportation removed its iconic rainbow crosswalk in South Beach. The U-shaped rainbow installation located near Loomis Park is made from more than 3,000 colorful pavers and sits just feet from the original site. Designed by Savino Design, the walkway features the same Art Deco-inspired look as the 2018 crosswalk. The unveiling came ahead of Miami Beach's 18th annual Pride Parade on Sunday. Last October, FDOT workers dismantled the rainbow crosswalk at Ocean Drive and 12th Street following a statewide directive to remove pavement art associated with social, political, or ideological messages or risk losing funding. Similar removals happened across Florida, including near the Pulse nightclub memorial in Orlando. The new walkway placed outside an active roadway aims to avoid further state objections. City officials say the new installation stands as a lasting symbol of resilience, visibility, and community pride. All right, so, I went to visit it yesterday because I wanted to see the difference, right? I mean, Dale will attest to more about this, but you were part of the original people that had even come up with the concept of doing the crosswalk years ago. And when they came and FDOT ordered folks to take every single paver out and the drag queen stood in front of it crying, we were all touched, right? And I thought that was kind of the end of it. And officials said, hell no. Commissioners like Alex Fernandez were like, hell F no, you're not going to do that. And they picked up every one of those pavers and made this sidewalk look as beautiful as it did. I mean, it's captivating. And it just, it shows the resilience of our community that you can't erase us just by taking a crosswalk away.
Because we're doing this, in towns all over the place. We're hearing different stories where they're doing, bike racks, all these different things. But I think this is it looks much prettier in the U shape than it is when it was the regular crosswalk. And yes, I was on the Miami Beach LGBTQ Advisory Committee for 8 years. You're termed out after 8 years. And I was on from 2010 to 2018. And from day one, we were trying to get crosswalks. On the sidewalks, and then one by one we saw city getting it done. It was so frustrating. And then at one time they were painted like regular, whatever kind of paint that is, but it wears off. So then we wanted something more permanent, and then landing on this really beautiful Art Deco inspired version of Pride colors, I think is really perfect for South Beach, Miami Beach, and the Art Deco.
And there's a bench that will also be on there that they had to just retreat. They had brought it out.
People are using it a lot.
Well, no, they brought it out for the unveiling, but it got a scratch immediately. It needed another layer of something, and it needed to dry for a little longer. So they took it off for Pride because everybody was going to be on that. You know what I mean? But it will be there to make its own statement real soon. What did you think, John?
Well, it looks great. I love that they saved all the rubble. This is literally a rainbow from the rubble, and that just makes me so incredibly happy. Breaking news today, Stonewall National Monument in New York City, across the street from the actual building where the riots began. They are going to be able to start raising the Pride flag in the monument on a technicality that said if you can raise non-government flags at a national monument if the flag adds historic context. You think it adds a little historic context?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Boise, Idaho has been trying to take down Pride flags in public for 2 years. They have finally succeeded. Boise last week took down their Pride flag. And they got all the flag poles are now colored in rainbow.
Loopholes, I love it.
Loopholes. So suck it, Idaho. Suck it, Trump. Suck it, DeSantis. Love may always win, but you know what? So do we. Suck it.
Suck it.
Well, I am just going to add that I think it was a very creative way of just expressing ourselves in a very artistic way. I love the fact that we reinvent when somebody says, no, you can't do that anymore. We're certainly going to find a different way of expressing it. And I love it, whether it's bicycle racks or I've seen in St. Pete's across the sky, they're doing lights and stuff for the rainbows and stuff. I mean, we're just going to come up with different ideas with this. So, you know, we can get rid of the streets and whatnot, you know, the painting on the streets, but we'll always find a way to raise the flag.
This is our forte.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is what we do. We make things fabulous, right? Okay, you want to take something away from us? We're going to make it even gayer.
Right. Right.
I'm Edward Otto Zielke, and let's queer up the world view. Did Canada really change LGBTQ acronym to MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+? Claims are circulating online suggesting that Canada has officially expanded the LGBTQ+ acronym. The claim is false. The confusion stems from remarks made by Canadian Member of Parliament Leah Gazan, who used the term during a speech addressing $7 billion in budget cuts to Indigenous services. Gazan used MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+ as an inclusive phrase referring to missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, and two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, and asexual people. The acronym was not introduced as an official national change, but as a broad, inclusive reference. Some right-wing outlets and social media users misrepresented the term, amplifying confusion. Elon Musk reacted online writing, "Canada is cooked," and later shared another post saying, quote, "I guess there are still some letters left in the alphabet," end quote. MMIWG remains widely used term describing violence against Indigenous women. Study shows Indigenous women in Canada face significantly higher homicide rates. Two-spirit is a distinct cultural identity used by some Indigenous communities, separate from other gender identities. Well, this is something where, you know, we're in the age, I think, right now where we are using a lot of acronyms. I know that there's a lot of young talk in terms of like how you just break down everything into acronyms and stuff. And so when you're up there and you're trying to be inclusive and you're talking about a large group, partly LGBTQ, you want to be inclusive and you want to just, make sure that you're touching all of those points. But it would be people like Musk that would just turn it the other way and just basically say, you know what, they're saying way too much. This is getting ridiculous. We're saying all of these letters. But the point is that we need to feel inclusive.
Yeah.
And if that's what's going to take to have all of these letters in an acronym, then that's fine. But again, we're not going that far.
Yeah. I took it like they were making fun of us. That's kind of how, you know what I mean? The alphabet family, fine, I get it, and if we needed to add more letters, I'm part Indigenous. I'm very well aware of what is going on with missing lesbian, Indigenous women, and just Indigenous people as a whole, right? Hence why we have the BIPOC acronym, right, for Black and Indigenous people of color. But the gays didn't add more letters, okay? Misinformation did, and inclusion isn't confusing, but ignorance is.
Yeah.
And when people start mocking identities instead of learning them, that says more about their intelligence than our freaking alphabet. So stay educated, know what you're talking about, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was in college, back in the day, we had the lesbian and gays. That was the lesbian and gay club. And I remember there was this huge uproar, even from the straights. I'm like, back off, about adding just the B. So every acronym, every letter means something.
Yep.
Every letter is someone. So, thank God for Elon, and he's weighed in so I can rest easy tonight.
Right.
But you know what? People who don't like too many acronyms can STFU and S my D.
I'm Dale Stein, and let's queer up politics. Pete Buttigieg signals 2028 presidential run, says, save me a seat. Former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is offering his clearest indication yet that he may enter the 2028 presidential race. Speaking Friday in New York at the National Action Network convention, Buttigieg responded to a direct question from civil rights leader Al Sharpton about a possible run. Sharpton asked, quote, "When you ran for president, you met me and we went to a well-publicized lunch at Sylvia's restaurant in Harlem. Just so my calendar's clear, should I be reserving a table at Sylvia's? Are you going to run again?" End quote. Buttigieg replied with a smile, quote, "You save me a seat, I'll be there," end quote, drawing immediate applause from the audience. The remark quickly gained traction online with commentators interpreting it as a strong signal of a potential campaign. However, later a spokesperson declined to expand on the comment. While no formal announcement has been made, Buttigieg's remarks mark a notable step toward a possible 2028 bid. Well, I have loved Pete since Mayor Pete came out and was on the scene. I would love to be alive long enough to see him be president. I don't know that the world is going to be ready. I don't know if the country's ready for, to elect someone, gay. Mm-hmm. But he is smart. He is so smart. He is so great off the cuff.
Yep.
I photographed an event that he was when Biden was still running before he dropped out, and Pete was the speaker. And it was just in a house. It was in a house event. He was so good. I was so enamored, and I was just mesmerized. But he was just because he seems so off the cuff, but he's so knowledgeable about every issue.
He's so smart.
That he just has everything right at his fingertips.
He is the perfect gay package, all right? Him and his husband are gorgeous. Their kid is gorgeous, okay? When Kamala had her 3 months of running, it's in her book if you want to go check it out, right? Everybody was hoping that she would get Pete as her running mate, He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. You see him different when he talks now than during that time. Yeah. He's already different. He's already stronger. Yeah. He is the only one on our side that will go to Fox News and lay everybody out. Lay everybody out. Are you next? Okay, come on. You know what I mean? That is him. Totally. Now, Sylvia's is delicious, okay? But I think this is just a lunch plan, okay? I really don't think that it's him running. And I just think that we're so hopeful and we're so beat down that we're like, please run, please. Yeah, but he might not be ready for 28.
We don't know.
Okay, and we don't know. And I really just think that this is lunch.
I mean,
Let me tell you. First of all, when he does make an announcement, it's not going to be just as a sidebar at a little round table or whatever.
At the end,
it's going to be a full party with balloon drop and all that. Drag queens. We've all seen it.
Going to be on RuPaul's Drag Race.
But I will tell you what I really do. I mean, yes, I would love to see him as president. But what I think is feasible and what is absolutely doable is for him to be the next Secretary of Defense. Because think about the contrast. You've got this cosplay little boy in a man's body running over there in Pete Hegseth, just killing all of our troops, killing America's reputation. He's not a serious person. And then you'd have the gay guy who is a serious person, who has served, who has been able to communicate an effective policy. That's what I want to see. And I also want to see it because I just know all those little, the red pill MAGA heads, whoosh, their head would explode.
Doesn't take much.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up politics. Melania Trump's Epstein denial raises questions on its intent and timing. Melania Trump has issued a surprise public statement denying any relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, raising questions about timing and coordination within the White House. The First Lady said she never had a relationship with Epstein, the late sex offender who socialized with her husband, Donald Trump, for nearly 2 decades. She said, quote, "The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today." The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation, end quote. Mean-spirited. Her statement puzzled political reporters, including senior White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich, who said, quote, "We've been trying to understand why she made it today, because it did feel like it came out of left field for us," end quote. Even conservative outlets like the New York Post questioned the timing, noting it was unclear why the First Lady chose to hold the press event while the administration attempts to move past the Epstein controversy. While on one hand, the world is trying to make sense of this press event, on the other hand, social media personality and political commentator Brian Krasenstein shared a Twitter post that said, quote, "I can confirm with 99% confidence that the reason Melania Trump came out yesterday with her Epstein statement is because of information possessed by a former friend and Epstein survivor, Brazilian model Amanda Ungaro. You will be hearing so much about her in the upcoming weeks that Trump will likely nuke Iran over it," end quote. Amanda Ungaro claims to be an Epstein survivor and a former acquaintance of Melania Trump. She has also shared many social media posts warning Melania Trump that she could disclose further information about the First Lady's hidden connections. For now, one thing is clear: what was intended as a firm denial of relations with Epstein has instead fueled deeper speculation. When a denial raises more questions than answers, it's giving plot twists, not closure, baby. Melania stepping forward only fueled speculation. And in politics, timing is everything. And this one feels less like clarity and more like crisis management. Yeah. All right. And this Brazilian model is going to come out with her receipts and everything. And I am living for it. I am waiting, popcorn in hand, for this to happen because Melania deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I just hope she has serious protection around her 24/7.
The Brazilian model.
Yeah, Ungaro, yeah. Because, you know, I think you said something earlier at the table. You smelled suicide in the air.
Oh, yeah. I don't like to joke about that. You know.
It's a joke, but at the same time, it's very real.
Right. Yes, it speaks to what the context,
the dangers connected.
Well, and the power that Trump has. I mean, come on, we can't take that away from him
It's a mafia crime family.
It is.
And that's what it is. So
So a lot of people were like, and we obviously, and we should know, like you said, Ungaro has started coming out with stuff. So we're not, and this commentator was not revealing or naming someone that has not publicly stepped forward. I think that's an important distinction to point out. How this could happen? Well, let's look at the administration for a second. As bumbling three stooges as the president's offices, that's the top. Those are the top staffers in Republican Washington right now. Mm-hmm. Then you take a step down and you go over to the vice president's staff. They're not quite as skilled, like, you know, going to a country, endorsing a dictator who then loses in a vote.
Landslide.
And then you've got the first lady's office. So you've not got the top people up there. I'm pretty sure it was just one of her sycophants aides going, you know what? You should put out a statement. Put out a statement, and then everybody will stop talking about it. I promise you, I can say with 99% certainty that is what happened.
It's PR 101, basically, you know? I mean, it's just the basics. You definitely see this, like, in any type of reflective, you know, getting ahead of the story, more or less. So, yeah, you know, I don't buy anything that, you know, I believe that, you know, she's caught up in it just like her husband and everybody else that's been named.
Listen, we've all taken pictures with people. I get it. But her pictures with these Epstein pictures, you can tell that they were friendly. And again, it wasn't a one time we saw each other at a party. All right. This is Jets a lot of times, his private island a lot of times. I think the Epstein files names him going there 1,000 times or something crazy like that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Melania was a part of it. However she was, just knowing, okay, is enough.
Yeah.
You don't have to be part of what's going on, right? Just knowing these horrible things that are going on, you know.
Silence is sometimes complicit.
You know, and having a friend that was your girlfriend, all of a sudden, even she's like, no, I'm done. I'm done. I got my receipts and I'm going to share them, you know. Yeah. If it was anybody else but Melania, we would probably go, oh, no, someone's trying to tarnish your image. But that's already been done, right? So, I mean, it's. Okay, we'll stay tuned or not with this story. We'll see what's going on.
I'm John Hayden, and let's queer up politics. President Donald Trump shares violent murder clip to push his immigration claims. He posted the graphic murder video on Truth Social, which we are intentionally not showing here, and it shows a woman being beaten to death with a hammer. The 20-second clip captures the killing of Laufey Eastman outside a gas station in Fort Myers. Authorities say Eastman, a clerk and mother, was attacked by Robert Joaquin, a 40-year-old Haitian man charged with a murder and being held without bond. Trump said the clip is terrible, but he has an obligation to put it up so that people can see what Democrats are protecting. Well, the Post pushes his immigration agenda and calls to end temporary protected status for Haitians while criticizing, say it with me, President Joe Biden, Democrats, and federal judges. Homeland Security has also weighed in, blaming prior immigration policies for the crime. First off, this is a terrible crime.
Horrible.
This is horrible. But to lay it on top of every single Haitian or every non-white immigrant, which, let's face it, is what this racist administration does, is transparent as it is pathetic.
And vile. Yeah.
And disgusting.
Yeah.
You know, that's all you got? That's it?
Well, no,
look, the reality of life is that most gunmen are white. All right,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
you can check the percentage on that since the beginning of time. All right, and I mean, awful things are done by awful people. Plain and simple. It doesn't matter where they're from. What you're doing, Haitians are like the foundation of Miami. Okay, like they are the folks that helped build it. Okay, and Miami wouldn't be Miami without it. And now they're trying to push them out. That's basically what's happened.
And this is not, of course, the first time that they are really denouncing Haitians in such horrible ways. I mean, the eating the dogs.
Oh, the eating the dogs and cats.
I mean, so it's an ongoing saga. Mind you, we all know, as you said, this is a horrible, horrible, horrible story. And to put this around it is to lessen the horribleness of the crime.
Yeah, he's using the tragedy as a political help,
Bait.
a bait tool, whatever it is, and that is exploitation. That's what that is, right there.
And it's flailing. It's flailing because it's not talking about the war. It's not talking about Epstein.
Yeah.
It's not talking about gas. It's not
Economy.
talking about cost of living. It's not talking about anything that's really going to matter when we hit the polls in 6 months.
Yeah.
This is distraction, but more than anything, it's flailing.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. New drag docuseries Pageant Queens debuts on Prime Video with $50,000 prize. Prime Video will debut the first 10 episodes of Pageant Queens, our story behind the crown, on Monday, April 20th, 420. The 11 episode docuseries follows 10 national title holders living together in a South Florida mansion, competing for Queen of Drag and a $50,000 prize. Director Travis Stansel says, quote, "From the very first episode, viewers see that these queens are here to share what drag truly means to them," end quote. Unlike traditional formats, the show removes elimination, focusing on collaboration and storytelling. Set across Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Wilton Manors, the series highlights identity, resilience, and visibility. Big shout out going out to all the girls that are a part of this. I mean, I'm all about pageant queens. I love that all these queens have already won titles already, right? So they're coming with that experience, right? And the fact that drag queens, can I say this without getting? I can. They can be catty, right? I mean, so like this is what I'm watching. I can't wait to watch this. You know what I mean? And my standout, of course, is our girl Kennedy Davenport. She's who I got my money on. She's gonna win the whole thing. I said it here.
I look forward to this. I'm a Drag Race fan, so this is right up my alley. I love looking at docuseries like this that are touching on the drag community and stuff. So I'm definitely going to be watching this.
Yeah, more drag, more drag, more drag.
Yeah.
I'll give it a watch, but I wasn't a big fan of Amazon Prime's last drag show.
What was it?
Melania.
Oh.
Wow. Listen, hold on. On behalf of all the drag queens, I got you. Do not disrespect my drag queens by even mentioning Melania in the same sentence as our queens.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Hudson Williams takes darker turn as Madman in Laufey's new The Madwoman music video. Hudson Williams, known for his hit series Heated Rivalry, is stepping into a darker role in Laufey's upcoming music video for The Madwoman, released today. The breakout star gained attention from the show's success. Now Williams trades his familiar charm for an intense madman persona. Laufey's teased the project on Instagram, sharing Polaroids and writing, quote, "Introducing our Madman for the Madwoman music video. Get slapped," end quote. The video also features Olympian Alyssa Leo and actor Lola Tung. Fans can also see Williams appearing in the thriller Yaga and Netflix's The Altruists. Well, this is really exciting for, this breakout star, and you're already starting to see some versatility from him. And that's what's so great about, series like this that are focused on LGBTQ, because, then you start getting, more work, and you start, identifying your craft a little bit more, and you start to see them, really as an artist. And it's so wonderful just to celebrate that.
Yeah, of course. I loved the show, of course, and I was a cult member. And he did not have a lot of versatility in the show. He was full on bottom.
Yes, I heard.
I was going to ask you if he was the bottom of it.
But yeah, he was the bottom.
Okay.
He has a whole funny thing. I'm the hole, not the peg. But I watched the video this morning when it was at 35,000 views, and just right now it's at 1 million, just shy of 1.5 million.
Wow.
So that's already just since this morning.
So Laufey is very smart.
She's happy.
But also very smart, right? I mean, she's like, okay, this guy is so off the charts popular right now. Let me put him in my music video and make him look good.
And he's just there like in little snippets, but he's super sexy, super cute, and very different from his character on Heated Rivalry.
Yeah, that's amazing.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Natasha Lyonne responds after she was escorted off a Delta flight before a New York City appearance. Actor Natasha Lyonne has addressed reports with a pointed message on Twitter. She said, quote, "My heart is with all the unpaid TSA agents at our airports," end quote, adding that she was set to appear on the Drew Barrymore show, but it wasn't in the cards. According to reports, she allegedly refused to follow crew instructions. The captain told passengers, quote, "We have a passenger who for whatever reason wouldn't follow some basic commands," end quote. The incident remains unconfirmed. Lyonne later attended a New York premiere of Lorna the next day and is set to appear in Euphoria Season 3. This story has a lot of question marks around it for me. I'm really an admirer of her work, and I'm excited to see the third season of Euphoria. But apparently she said later in the comment that she made on Twitter or X that she took a Lunesta and that she said her boarding was fine, seamless, and everything was fine, and then somehow things just went unhinged.
I can't even sit through one episode of Euphoria because of how much drugs there are on there. I'm super triggered, and I know how popular the show has been. And someone had kind of told me beforehand, and I was like, oh, that's bullshit. How are you going to be that triggered? And I tried to sit through it, and I can't. And now the fact that she is on that show, right? I'm not saying that that's what they're doing, but I'm saying, sometimes art imitates life, and that sometimes spills over. She had told news reports a couple of weeks back that she had a slip in her sobriety and that she had relapsed. And at that point, if that happens, it's all hands on deck. It's let's get help. Let's get into rehab. Let's talk to people. Let's do what we have to do to get back on track. And I don't think that it seemed like she did that, unfortunately, at the reports say that, she had her laptop out, that she wouldn't close it. When they tell you to put your trays down, you've got to follow directions, and that they asked her repeatedly and she refused to do it. And she might have, said something that she shouldn't have to. The flight attendant, blah, blah, blah. All these things may or may not have happened, right? But they don't just throw you off a plane.
Right.
Okay. From someone that has been thrown off a plane for being too drunk. Okay. When I wasn't sober, I will tell you that it takes a lot for them to do that. They don't want to go through all that shit.
Yeah.
So it saddens me because she seems very talented. I loved her in Orange is the New Black, and anything else that she was honestly in, I gravitated it and was really taken by her. So it's sad.
I absolutely hate that we are doing this story. There's no indication that there was ever any threat. It sounds like it happened on the ground. We weren't, doing a quick U-turn back in to the airport. Nobody was really ever in danger. She's had a long history of substance abuse, and if she came out a couple weeks ago, like you said, and talked about a lapse and all that, then that's great, and that's good for her. And I love that she puts it out there so that people who relapse all the time can see it happens to everyone. But why are we doing this? And you and I have talked about mental health in recent days on a completely different story. But to have your mental health and every mini episode play out like this is a curse of fame, but it's also unconscionable. There's nothing breaking news about this story other than the person whose name is attached to it. There's really no news attached to this story. Let people be sick in peace. Let people heal in peace. There was nothing unique about this particular story.
She's a star, so it is
aside from the fact.
But we can't take that off, and we're a news outlet, so it's what we do. We give the news. You know what I mean? It's sad that she can't, because this doesn't help her sobriety.
Right.
By no means does this help. You know what I mean? Like,
Talk about triggering.
This would throw me back into it big time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So because of that, I agree with you.
Yeah.
LGBTQ 1-minute news. Let's queer up the world view. Hungary election shifts power, ending Orban era. Hungarian opposition leader Péter Magyar has defeated Prime Minister Viktor Orban in a landslide victory. Orban, a close ally of Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, faced criticism over policies including restrictions on LGBTQ+ rights. His party lost decisively to Magyar, who has pledged closer ties to the EU and Ukraine. The election follows a controversial pride ban last year, restricting LGBTQ+ gatherings under child protection laws. While Magyar has promised to protect freedom of assembly, critics say he has not clearly supported LGBTQ+ rights. And you know what? That's okay. Yeah. Because the person who is well on record for not being for LGBTQ rights has just been swept out of office. And one of the ways Magyar was able to win election was because he stayed on point. Tell me if any of this sounds familiar. But Orban had gerrymandered the electoral districts, put on onerous voting restrictions and voting safety checks. Okay. And Donald Trump sent his #1 lackey, Vice President I Love a Good Couch Vance, all the way to Hungary to support and campaign for this guy. Hungarians don't know who the F. J.D. Vance is.
I wish I didn't.
Bro, don't we all? But not only that, it was a landslide, and that is not hyperbole. Out of 199 seats in the Hungarian parliament, they won 138.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That
55 is the other side, right? 55.
Yeah, 55 and 6 other. So they've got the votes for a supermajority to undo all the constitutional crap that Orban and his party pushed through. So it's not like they're just going to come in, but they can't do anything about the past. So they stayed on message. They got the job done. So you don't have to be yelling you're pro-LGBTQ as long as you get it done. It didn't distract the voters.
Nope.
And now we have someone in the last real European autocratic country outside of Russia that is now heading the right way. So I could not be happier about this, and I apologize for breaking the 1-minute news rule.
No, it's fine.
I mean, he is still considered right, but he is center right.
Center
so
right.
This is a very positive step in so many ways.
Yeah.
All the things you said and more.
Well, and it's hope, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hope for us that, I mean, they're living in the same chaos that we are, even more so when they had the anti-LGBTQ zones in Hungary. I remember that.
We reported on this so much here.
That was just awful. So for one, I'm elated for the Hungarian people and for their future.
Yep. I saw the 100,000 people pour into their square last night to celebrate. I'm just saying, that's going to come to a democracy usurper near you.
LGBTQ 1-minute news. Let's queer up sports. Trans darts player Noah Lynn Van Leuven retires after ban from women's events takes effect. The Darts Regulation Authority, which governs the Professional Darts Corporation, enforced the ban with immediate effect, following a similar 2025 decision by the World Darts Federation. Van Leuven wrote on Instagram, quote, "I just got an email. Apparently, I just got retired. Not by choice, but because I am no longer allowed to compete. This isn't just about me. It is another huge hit for the trans community," end quote. The 29-year-old Dutch player has won 6 titles since 2022 and made history in 2024 as the first trans woman to qualify for the World Championship. Fellow players including Luke Humphries and Neil Duff have voiced support. This makes me sad, again, trying to erase our trans community and, again, going after a problem when there isn't a problem, okay? Point blank, period. We did a similar story about a billiards player, and again, there should be no reason why she should have to retire at 29.
It's ridiculous. Yep.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight, and our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to thrive and grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world, and that includes Gibraltar, that's telling these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. And that is The Passion, Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television News, and of course, Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor, FayWhat, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors at Queer News Tonight, including Otto Zielke, STine, and John Hayden. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you a good night.
Good night.